Hi, I'm Steve Williams, Secretary of Kimber Freelanders Angling Club. Okay, so we're here in the North Lodge car park at Dudmaston. We're going to have a look at the big pool today. Okay, so it's a 19-acre estate lake. Main species of tench, which is what we're going to be having a look at today. So come on, let's go and have a look. Okay, so here we are on the east bank of the lake. This is peg 1, which is the furthest round we can go towards the house. There's a boundary just to my left here, the gate into the grounds of the property. Got some nice swims here, plenty of reeds around us. Lovely float fishing water, lovely in an evening with the sun setting over on the far side there. Some lovely tench fishing around here. The water drops off nice and steady from 2 or 3 foot down to 5 or 6 foot. Plenty of water out in front of you to go at. It's a really nice peg. Okay, so we've moved 50 yards along the stretch now. We're on the roadside. It's still in the reedy swims. As you can see, there's fish topping behind me. Again, very similar to peg 1. A nice steady shelf out where the reeds finish. It does drop off into quite deep water. Very good tench swim, very good pike swims in the winter. Get a lot of fry build up in the reeds for security, and the pike follow them in, so they're good winter pike swims as well. So we're about halfway back now along towards the shallows, still on the roadside. This is known as Stinks Bay, lovely little bay, a little bit snaggy, some really good tench fishing. You've got to get out in the water, you've got to wade under the trees there, stand on the edge of the reeds to fish. Very good pike water as well in the winter, lovely bit of fishing. There's a little island over to my left here that's a no-go area, you can't go on the island. There's another one over on the point which we're not allowed to go onto, and the other area you can't go is through the gate into the grounds of the house. Okay, so we're down here now, right at the bottom end of the big pool. You can probably hear the noise of the main road behind me. This is very shallow water. You've only got 1 or 2 foot out there. Still plenty of tench. Lovely reed beds to work against. Big open swim. It does get a bit of use off the cattle, but it's still a really good area to come and try. Right then, we're just into the main meadow on the west bank. Nice big open pegs these are. A little bit silty close in, nice and shallow. Water drops off after about 10 or 15 yards down into a gully. Really good tench water again, probably the most popular pegs on the lake. We've seen a couple of fish bubbling and rolling out here already this evening, so this could be where we end up fishing tonight. So here we are now, we've moved further up the lake, still on the open field side, the west bank. Plenty of open water in front of you here. Shallow bay over to my left. Very weedy in the summer. Tends to be big beds of weed in front of you on these swims, and then there's a shelf it drops off, so 20-30 foot out, good float fishing water, plenty of room to fish the feeder. This is the famous point swim, probably one of the best known on the lake. Lovely swim. What we've got here, you've got a little island over to my left, which is a no-go area again. There's 2 channels either side of the island. Water drops off very quickly here into about 12 foot. Used to be the end of the lake. There's a sunken dam running from the trees there across to the boathouse. Off the top of the dam, it's only 3 foot deep. So you've got deep water this side, 12 foot, and it drops off into 25 foot the other side of the sunken dam. Lovely float fishing water. Close in, you can fish a centre pin just a rod length out, and you're into tench there. So we're down here on the dam, really popular pike area in the winter. Good eel water as well, some deep water, 25, 28 foot, just a couple of rod lengths out. Still 1 or 2 tench get caught, good roach and rudd in the winter. So we've come round to the boathouse now. Nice deep water this side of the boathouse, obviously with this side of the old sunken dam. 20-25 foot of water again, just a rod length out. Really good pike fishing. The other side there's a little platform, you're into 8-10 foot of water, only a couple of rod lengths out. Really good tench water that side, really nice fishing. So this is the furthest spot from the car park. This is the lily pads. Lovely tench swim, probably the most classic tench swim on the lake. There's a shelf runs from the edge of the lilies down to the reeds. You've got 4 or 5 foot of water by the lilies, drops off into 10 or 12 foot of water. Fished it last week, had 19 tench off here to 6-1. Really good fishing.
For fishing over depth, I'm using a 4 AA waggler, peacock, and I've got the 4th AA shot about 8 inches from the hook, and that's the amount that I'm laying on the bottom. The bait that I'm using this evening, although I've got 2 choices, but I've started with, is just common sweet corn. Which has proved very, very successful, as it usually does here this time of the year. Obviously, sweet corn does tend to get a little bit harder as time goes on. Luncheon meat is also a very, very good bait here. What I'm using to draw the fish into the swim, apart from sweet corn free samples which I'm catapulting around the float, is a method mix, which is an SBS nitro method mix, with a breadcrumb just to bolster it up. It means that the method mix actually goes further, and also the bread acts as a little bit of a cloud and sinks a little bit more slowly, so it attracts smaller fish, which hopefully attract the tench. I've been here for about 45 minutes now, and there's a lot of tench in my swim. They've come and moved in on the bait fairly quickly. So the idea with this is, when I first start, is to use larger balls than that to get the bait into the water, but then I will top up with much smaller balls, tangerine size. As far as the hook bait is concerned, the configuration, I can use obviously 1 grain of corn, 2 or 3. I tend to use 3 grains of corn, so I can use a big hook. Again, I'm going to be putting quite a bit of pressure on these fish so they don't go into these reeds.
Okay, so we've settled in the swim just along the west bank. Not my preferred method feeders. I'd rather be doing what Lol's doing with a float. But it's good to show you a couple of different methods. So we've got 2 method feeders on, 2 barbel rods, 2 free spool reels. The method mix I'm using is just little pellets, brown crumb, bit of flake maize, and for hook baits we're using punched meat, which is just there, and we're using corn. So nothing clever, nothing revolutionary, hair rig baits, and we've already had a couple of fish, so hopefully I can get one on camera for you, and that'll be good. Took a little while, but we've eventually got a fish on. I think he's dropped us in the weed. It's gone. Last we've left it a bit late. It's really last knockings. And there's quite a bit of weed out there, and I think he's got his head into the weed, so hopefully we can get him in. So there we go, that's a typical Dudmaston tench. Something around about sort of 4.5, 5 pounds. Lovely fish. They've been a bit difficult tonight, but there's still a chance of another 1 or 2 yet, so we'll let him go.